Hello, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us, Opunabo Nkotaya.
Good morning, Shego, and good morning, Rivers people.
Fantastic. So, Opunabo Nkotaya is in the studio. Don't forget, you can participate. Join us. Let us have your contribution. Do you think we're on the right path to getting it right in 2023 as it relates to good governance and participatory democracy? Overthrowing up all our telephone lines for you to participate. And of course, you can join us on our social media page. On our social media, it is Super FM PH on Facebook, on Twitter, as well as on Instagram. And there you have it, Super FM PH, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And for those that would love to call us, to join us live and participate in the show, the numbers to call 0705 079 1021. That is 0705 0791 021, as well as 081 174 31021. And for those who would send us voice notes, SMS, and make sure your voice note is just 45 seconds, send that to 0905948121. For voice note and SMS only, send it to 09059481021. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. This is Point Blank, and you can join the discussion, which is already live. And again, quickly, let me welcome Opunabo Nkotaya. Thank you so much, Opunabo Nkotaya.
Thank you, Shego.
Opunabo, perhaps the proper way to start this discussion is to look at what INEC did just recently. A couple of days ago, INEC came out with a list of candidates of those to participate in the coming election in Rivers State. And of course, it's a very long list of candidates there. And we are looking at, based on these candidates as issued by INEC, how serious are we in ensuring that, well, Rivers State is better prepared for the coming election? I'm just going to go through the list of the candidates as released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, so that for you, you can just look at the list by INEC, and we'll begin to ask ourselves this candidate. And quickly now, according to the Independent National Electoral Commission, the candidate to participate in the coming election, Rivers State, Fingerson Victor, is the candidate for the Action Democratic Party. Zenith Labour Party has Koki Iniye Sophia as a candidate. African Action Congress, Obele Joseph. Action Alliance, Somiari Tamuno Baka Victor. All Progressives Congress, Toyeko. Social Democratic Party, Pronem Morris. Accord Party, Dumololo Briggs. Allied People's Movements, White Fire for Churchill. Others are Boot Party, with Nwaize Ogbogu Michael as the candidate. National Rescue Movement, Jack Rishobomabo. Action People's Party, Borobosi Lesi Gabriel. African Democratic Congress, Ibrahim Tonte. New Nigeria People's Party, George Will Abiye. All Progressive Grand Alliance, Beke Ugochukwu Prince. People's Democratic Party, Siminalayi Fubara. Young Progressive Party has Wenike Briggs Torubo as its candidate. Interestingly, some of these candidates and this party, we don't even know they exist in Rivers State. But what's your take? What's your take on this list?
Well, Shego, these are people that have expressed their intention to contest for the governorship of Rivers State and went through the process and satisfied by INEC has been duly qualified to contest. And they are now the flag bearers, standard bearers of their various political parties. It is left for Rivers people to do an appraisal of the candidates and eventually make their choices using their PVC in the forthcoming general elections. You said you're not aware of some of the parties.
Really? I mean, it's interesting.
Yes, but that makes it quite interesting.
Yes.
Politics is all about numbers. And it will not be quite interesting if you have just one or two political parties in the state. It's important you have numerous political parties, but definitely you have the major political parties. Well, the question is how many would agree that they're political parties and not the major political parties?
Well, that's a very big issue. Even
that's
INEC,
that's an issue of perception.
Even in INEC, in that statement said that may not necessarily be the final.
Yes, but Shego, let's work with what we have right now.
Okay.
That's just the truth about it. And in Rivers State, of course, you have two major political parties in the state. You have the APC, you have the PDP. And you have the Accord. The Accord is principally because of the governorship candidate, Dumololu Briggs. That's why people still make reference to parties like Accord, you know. Otherwise, people will just, it's between APC and PDP. But because you have a Dumo as the standard flag bearer, of course, it's an issue. You don't just dismiss it, given his clout, so to speak. In politics and his relationship with people, he's a true, proper Rivers man. You can't take that away from him. So that's why you talk of Accord as well.
But you have your feelings against the APC, and I also recall there was a publication you put out recently. Maybe I should just play back a bit of that.
Well, it's okay. I remember all I said.
But just for emphasis' sake, and for those who are following us, just a bit of it. We'll just take a bit of it and we just look at those things you said, because you seem to have a very strong bias for the candidate of the APC. Now, let's just have a listen to this and we come back.
The gale of defections from the APC is occasioned by choices perceived to be wrong. Those at the state level who defected from the party are incensed because they believe that a political foreigner, when I mean a political foreigner, somebody who was not part of the emergence or who is not even part of the sustenance of the party, is being imposed on the party as a standard bearer in the forthcoming gubernatorial elections. And the party members who were aggrieved believed that they were going to find solace at the national...
Well, I did say we're just going to take a bit of that. Again, there you have it, a political foreigner. And I'm talking about the gale of defection and bringing us to that. Let us begin to look at the APC itself. There was a stakeholders meeting yesterday. And at the stakeholders meeting, it was agreed that let us move on. How moving on is this move on?
Well, I reacted. That was a reaction to a question that was posed to me when the attrition in the party started, when people started moving, especially the prominent ones. And of course, that I give an understanding of what I knew the problem was. And I stand to be controverted on that issue. I still my position. What do I mean by that? A lot of people even call to say, why will you say Toye Cole, it's not a foreigner, he's a Calabari man.
Actually, you say he's a political foreigner.
That's what I want to address. He's not a foreigner, he's a Calabari man. But Toye Cole's father is somebody I know so well. In fact, I knew his father before I knew Toye Cole.
All right.
Yes, so well. They were like my father's, like sons himself, TOG and Co. Long so well. So when I say, I said political foreigner, I did not question his parentage.
Okay.
So when people come up to say he's an Abodman, it's so ridiculous. It's marks of their lack of understanding. Thank God I said political foreigner. And that remains a fact. And that is why a lot of them are hyped. I am a Rivers man. I interact with a whole lot of them.
Okay.
What kept the party after Toye Cole emerged as the candidate was Rotimi Chibukamiji. That symbol, people did not know how to offend him. I'm talking of the party faithful. Okay. But they expressed their grievances. And don't forget that they were also saying, well, we'll find solace when he emerges as the candidate of the APC at the national presidential candidate.
And that never happened?
And that did not happen. So it was like a fallen hope. Where do we go from here? And it is not just, almost all political parties impose their candidates, practically all. There's major political parties. But it is not just the imposition that is even
now, I just wanted to clarify that, because that is a very big statement.
1 minute. It is not, but they all complained. I mean, let us not pretend. If we have to address these issues, let us say them the way they are. Mendasi locals will not take us to anywhere. And that's why I keep saying, if you really sincerely want to address issues, you must be unbiased and say it the way it is. The major political parties, no doubt, impose candidates. No doubt about that. Then these other smaller parties, there was no imposition because the candidates brought the parties to the state, so to speak. You know, because if anybody, if you call, let's say you have 100 members of the PDP, or let's say 20 members of the PDP who wanted to, who contested for the primaries, you ask them, I can tell you, sincerely one-on-one, 15 to 16 will tell you, I was rigged out, or I was forced out. But we don't have a choice. We are loyal party members. That is what you hear. That's the consolation. Same with the APC.
But again, when you begin to describe Toyin Cole as a political foreigner, a lot of people would want to disagree with you that if he was that foreign in politics, why would the leadership of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State have taken means to stop him from contesting election? For example, we're aware of court cases accusing him of...
Now, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I don't think the PDP would really have bothered about the candidacy of Toyin Cole, but for Rotimi Chibikamiki. The man behind Toyin Cole, the clout of the man behind Toyin Cole.
You think he has such a big clout
you can't dismiss Rotimi Chibikamiki in politics of the country. Like it or leave it. Just the same way you can't dismiss Nyesom Ezewonwike in the politics of this country. Even though I don't like him. He doesn't like me. But truth be told, you can't dismiss him. You can't trifle with their clout. It's not possible. I mean, that would be to your detriment. So it is the brain behind the candidate, not the candidate per se. And what do I mean by that? You see, I'm not saying Toyin Cole doesn't have what it takes to be a governor. Don't get me wrong. But it goes beyond competence in politics. It has to do with affability. You have to ingratiate yourself with the people. It is not a lodge master, lodge servant, and yes. It's not that relationship. That's not what you want in politics, because you crash. If you're a technocrat, he's a technocrat. If you're a technocrat, you don't go and contest. You wait to be appointed. But if you want to be a true politician, you must get to the level of those at the bottom of the pecking order. You must make them feel that you are one part of them. And that is actually the problem. So it is not about competence. Mark my words. They are all competent. It's not about competence. It's now all about relationship.
And you think that
that complaint is not just of Opunabo Inko-Tariah. No, it's not just of Opunabo Inko-Tariah. You have your ears to the ground. It's not just Opunabo.
Well, again, you have said the man Rotimi Chibikamiki is not a man that you can put over when you come to politics in Rivers State, and he has the clout. Even on the national scene, he has the clout. But then there are, well, aggrieved members. Of course, the party had a stakeholders meeting yesterday, and they said, let us forge ahead. Do you think that was a sincere move by the party members? I mean, I've seen statements by the Dakuku Ado Peter Side Media Organization, and we've seen some statement coming from the APC itself after that stakeholders meeting. Knowing politicians as well as you know them, would you say that was genuine, that was sincere?
Well, if you talk of sincerity, you know, most people speak from two sides of the mouth. You know, what they tell you is quite different from what they do. And that is why a lot of them play anti-party. I'm not making reference to Dakuku. I'm saying politicians generally. Yes, Dakuku is a committed man. You can't impeach his integrity. I can tell you that. So before tomorrow people start saying, because you made reference to his media team.
We just made reference to the statement.
Before tomorrow people now say, he said, Opunabo said this. And no, please, not Dakuku. But in fact, let me tell you the truth. If Dakuku had emerged, Dakuku, Toyin, Prince, or Michael West had emerged, I tell you, a lot of people would have remained in that party.
So given the Mercurian nature of politicians, as you have just said now, so would you really
now,
say
when you
the
say
House
move
of the
forward,
APC
you
is
said,
in order to
you asked the question.
Yes.
Move forward. What that actually meant was, let's put our house together.
Okay.
Because if we don't, I tell you, we have the chance. Our chances in the fourth country are going to be grim. That's what they meant by let's move forward, because of the defections that have taken place. You have a man like Samson Jaja, who just defected from the party. I mean, these are men that had APC on their back. They slept, they dreamt, they ate APC. And most of them are leaving. So it brought a lot of fear to members. And if you go to the social media, a lot of people are shouting, then who are those left in that party? So the stakeholders meeting, I wasn't aware, you're just telling me, but the stakeholders meeting definitely was to address those fears. One, to allay the fears, and to also do a self-appraisal and urge the members to, come on, move on. They need concerted efforts. If we were moving at 40 kilometers per hour, let's move at 80 or 90 kilometers per hour. I think that was what they meant.
But again, does it still surprise you that even at those moments, the party is yet to put together a grassroots mechanism that would ensure it's just 8 months to the election?
Well, I'm happy you are the one raising this issue. If Opunabo had made this observation, people would have said because he's biased. But thank God you're the one, you're in the media, so you know. And that is the problem. Now, you see, I tell you the gospel truth. It really has to do with the candidates. And I think there's this sudden realization. You know, the party was on a long sojourn in the land of inertia. A lot of things were just taken for granted for so many reasons. And they depended so much on right on Amechi. At every point in time, they wanted Amechi to come to Rivers State or give the directives. No, it shouldn't be like that. Yes, he's the leader of the party. You should also take him by surprise. With certain actions.
Is there a chance like that?
There is a chance like that. Yeah.
Politics is
provided it is not negative. You take your leader by surprise. Provided it is not negative. You don't depend on him for everything. Now they had the stakeholders meeting. What stops the governorship candidate from calling for a stakeholder? All you need to do is inform the man. And you brief him. He had to come into Port Harcourt for a stakeholders meeting. There are certain things you do. Not just the governorship candidate, all candidates should work together.
Now,
because let me tell you, Amechi is not on the ballot.
Okay.
You are the ones on the ballot.
But again, some things influence some things. Now, I just want you to stay with us. Opunabo Nkotare is a civil rights activist. He wants to be on the show last week, and we were looking at good governance, good and participatory governance. And of course, we had to bring him back this morning, and we're starting with the issue of the political parties, particularly following the list published by INEC of political parties and their candidates so far. And I'm speaking to Opunabo Nkotare. Are we really ready? Is the coast clear to ensure that we have the right CEO for Rivers State in just about 8 months? And don't forget, Rivers State and some other states will be going into the election in March. So the question is, what are we doing right now? How correct are we? Looking at the correctness. And of course, we'll be throwing over the telephone lines 07050791021 and 08117431021. And don't forget, you can do a short voice note, 45 seconds only, or send us SMS to 0905948101. And if you feel like joining us live, you can join us live. We're live on Facebook, on Super FM PH on Facebook, and you watch the proceeding of this discussion, this conversation live in the studio. Now, open up, but just something, just to bring this in before we go to the telephone line. You were very, very critical of Governor Ezeowo Nyesewike's pronouncement of constructing the 11th and 12th flyover in Rivers State. Again, don't you think this may just impact on the fortune of the political party? Because you specifically mentioned that, and you think it was so, well, commendable, you said. But again, you say this is also what we're talking about, not seeking what the people want.
Yes, and I still maintain my stance. Let me reiterate that the construction of 2 more flyovers. Well, why I said commendable, because Nyesom Wike is in the twilight of his administration, and so a lot of people in that position probably wouldn't have bothered about constructions anymore. But you see, there is also another side to it. There is also this argument that the construction is taking place, going on because he needs more money in order to prosecute the war. And
so when you talk about the war, you're talking about the election. But again, it's not on the ballots.
No, he has a candidate. So he's on the ballot by proxy.
Okay.
So he takes the credit, and he's definitely going to take the blame if the party wins or if his candidate wins.
So what else do you say
now,
about
nevertheless, let me just tell you this.
Yeah.
You see, you construct flyovers, but people are unemployed. The unemployment rate in the state is quite high. There are no industries, there are no companies. Now a lot of them say, oh, even some UK will tell you, oh, during the construction, people over 10,000, 3,000, 2,000 persons are employed. Those that are employed are those that employed for menial jobs. What of the middle class? You're talking of the artisans. And in most cases, how much are they paid? They are not. That is not employment. I call that slavery. 700,000, 750 naira per day, which is less than the minimum wage of 30,000 naira.
But again,
so why not create these industries so that you can have those at the bottom of the pecking order, you can have the middle class, you can have the white-collar jobs. You can also make money for the state, generate funds for the state. You can also, sorry, you want to say something?
No, baby. I was just thinking that, well, you've just said on this program that
you've done 10 flyovers.
Okay, you say
why the flyover frenzy? That's the conundrum. Why that flyover frenzy? The same amount you pump in to construct flyovers, the same amount you can pump in to construct industries that will employ thousands of, if not millions of Rivers people. If you had built, let's say, 7 flyovers and maybe 2 companies, 2 major industries in the state, you know what's the effect that will have on the economy and on the lives of Rivers people?
You know, I'm just thinking, because a while ago you've just said on the program that you don't like the man and the man doesn't like you. Perhaps this informs your bias.
I don't like his style. That's the truth.
Perhaps this informs your bias. This informs your bias.
No, but I just told you here that, Shego, I might not like you as a person. But if you're doing well, I'll say in these areas you did well. If you did poorly in your admission, I'll tell you no. Like I said, fine. The flyovers, good. Commendable, because in the twilight of the man is still continue with construction. A lot of people would have just resigned themselves. But then it is misplaced priority. That's the point I'm making.
And again, this is coming just a year before just 8 months before the election, and this is going to have a huge fortune. But again, this same man you're talking about has been wooed even on the national scene. Just yesterday, you heard what Atiku Abubakar said about the same man.
What did Abubakar?
He said it's not a man that can be pushed over. Actually, I mean, you should know that.
But I said it here. I said these are not. You can't try with a cloud. I said it here. I've said it maybe almost 4 or 5 times here. Didn't I say it? So the issue of being biased doesn't even come in. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm going to take some calls.
Yes.
And we'll be looking at these 2 big issues. We'll look at how that will shape 2023 for us in Rivers State. Stay with us. You're listening to Point Blank. Let's come now to the telephone lines, and we have them blinking. Let's take the first set of calls. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. Point Blank. Hello. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Okay. My name is Douglas Dodi Emmanuel.
Douglas. Good morning.
Okay, I want to make a few corrections.
Please do.
Opunabo Inkotaria is our brother. We love and respect him. But in his assertions there have been quite a number of misinformations. Number one, Dr. Sam Jaja never resigned from the APC. He is still a bona fide member of the APC. He's still our elder and our leader. We love and respect him. Number two, it is tragic that he could speak in such a diminutive manner concerning Tonye Patrico, the candidacy of architect Pastor Tonye Patrico. Wow. My brother should tell us how many of the people resigning are resigning over policy differentials, are resigning over the poor and decrepit health condition in the state? How many people are resigning over maybe non-engagement in the educational sector and challenging the government as to what they are doing? These people leave our party, go to the PDP, get larges, and become a part of the party and become a part of the system. Look, let me tell you something. In South Africa, there is what they call state capture. When a gang of politicians believe that they own the party or they own the state,
okay,
and everything must come to them.
Now, Dodi,
that is what is going on in Nigeria right now.
Okay, fantastic. Dodi,
that's what is going on in Rivers State.
All right.
And until we get up and nip this thing and end it, Rivers State will not go forward.
Fantastic, Dodi. I think you've made your point. But on the issue of the resignation of Sam Jaga, we're trying to confirm that. But what we have in the public domain is that he has resigned from the APC. But now
what
that you've come to the country,
which public domain? Which public domain?
Now that you've come to
I was with him last night. I had drinks with him. I snapped pictures with him.
Fantastic.
It's on my Facebook
let
wall.
us leave it at that.
So
let us leave it at that, Dodi.
Which public domain did you have that?
Okay, let us leave it at that.
Is it a rumor?
We'll get back to you on that. But again, on the issue that you said that Opunabo was just being callous against the governorship candidate of the APC, I think Opunabo will react to that. But quickly, let me just take another one. Thank you so much, Dodi. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. Point blank.
Hello, good morning, Shegun.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, my name is Comrade Letanbari Sunday.
Comrade Letanbari, good morning.
The president this time and Tom for River Southeast.
Yes, please go ahead with your view. Hello? All right, we seem to have challenge with Comrade Letanbari. We'll come back to that. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank. Hello? All right, Opunabo Nkutari, you may just go ahead.
I don't know, what did he say? What did I say about Toyko?
Well, he felt the choice of
jog
words.
my memory. Like, for example,
Well, again, that's quite difficult for me to say, because he felt the choice of words perhaps may not just be the right ones.
What are the words I used? That's the question I'm asking. I can't even really remember what I said that would generate any reaction. That's the truth. I can't remember what I said that would stimulate any reaction about Toyko. We spoke generally about candidates. So is it the one? If it's the one, please let him just tell me exactly what I said about Toyko. Let me react.
Well, maybe
I can't remember what I said, because we're just speaking generally. So, and what I said generally, I said the choices were responsible for the attrition in parties, and I said both APC and PDP had imposition of candidates, but now it is the onus is on the candidate to ingratiate himself with the people. Well, not least Lord and least my servant relationship. That was what I said. And that is what will make the difference. And I said, aside from other political parties, the difference is that other political parties, the candidates brought the parties to the state. That's what I said. Okay. So what is wrong with that? Is that not a fact? It's a fact.
And you're also holding to the fact that he is a political foreigner.
Oh, what do you mean by political foreigner? Is simple metaphor. Unless you're not educated enough. Are you going to compare the number of years a lot of us are spent in politics with what he has, what Toyko has spent? It's
but
not
again,
possible.
it doesn't
Even the PDP candidate. What did I say? I said Toyko is the technical. Even the PDP candidate, I said I refer to him as political alien.
It doesn't remove the fact that he has the ability to win elections, which is what we're talking about here.
No, what we said, I said we are not questioning competence.
Okay.
You remember I said that? We are not questioning competence. I said now, having been foisted on the party or on the paper.
Foisted on the party. Perhaps that's another word that you shouldn't have used.
I shouldn't have used how a lot of people are not happy with the emergence of some of these candidates. Let's face facts. But that is not even the issue, because it's almost like a tradition in the country. I don't even know. It's not an issue. It's almost like a tradition. But that's why I said, having emerged, the onus is now on you in order to warm yourself. The onus is on you to ensure legitimacy, that is acceptance. You know, after every contest, even when you have a contest and you genuinely emerge, even if you are not foisted on the party, a lot of persons will still be aggrieved.
So you think the candidate...
A lot of persons will still be aggrieved. So it is now your responsibility to move around, to placate them, to satisfy them, to assuage. That is the point I'm making. And that is where you have the difference.
And you feel the man Tony Cole is not doing that enough?
Who? Tony Cole?
Yes.
People are complaining. Not Oknabo. Not Oknabo. But the truth about it is that you can't come on air to say A, B, C, D, E complained. I don't know if you get my point. You can't come on air to say that.
Okay.
But people are complaining.
All right. We need to move ahead. I'm just going to, because a lot of people are just trying to get across to us, let's just take 2 more of these.
You know what it means for a candidate?
Yes.
As you asked, for a candidate to just, in the morning, you don't look at your phone and you have a text message from a candidate. Okay. My brother, how are you? Or a phone call from a candidate.
You would just hold on a little bit. Let me just take this one. Yes. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is Point Blank.
My name is Akanto. I'm calling from the Office of International University.
Akanto, just make it very fast.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, former President of the State Government. My take is very simple, Shegu. There is no doubt that there is or there was no day of defection in APC Rivers State.
Okay.
Just a few hours ago, one of the prominent APC in Kana local government area just defected to the ruling people.
Now, could you give us the name of that prominent candidate? Could you give us the name?
Shegu. It is all over on the social media.
No, again, you see, we don't rely on that. So if you're so certain, no, hold on, Akanto. You just said a prominent member of the party defected in Kana. We would like for you to give us.
Yesterday, I saw violating.
All right. Okay, so we don't take on the stories on the social media. We take on stories we can confirm.
Shegu, the Rivers State government under governance has done its own in the area of construction and the area of building modern secondary schools. I take example of Birabi Memorial Grammar School in Kana local government area. I talk about
I would love for you to ask a question, Akanto, and that will make this conversation very smooth.
Shegu, it is because of the premise and the performance of the governor of Rivers State.
Okay.
That the incoming the governorship candidate of PDP will emerge in 2023 election.
All right, fantastic. Akanto, I think you've made a point very clearly there, and we quite appreciate that. Let me just take this one. Hello, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Comrade Shegu. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, very well. We can hear you, but if you could speak a bit louder, we would appreciate.
Okay, my name is Otiasa Christian Livingston.
Otiasa Christian, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Let me also greet my elder brother, Mr. Oknabo Inko-Tariah.
Good morning.
So I haven't said that. Let me speak my mind on this issue. You see, Mr. Oknabo, so far, what he has done is a general overview of the political parties, their pros and cons in Rivers State. And I don't think he has spoken badly of anybody.
I don't understand.
The fact that there are major defections in the APC is a fact. The fact that what you have is a calm river with so many sharks underneath is true. You see, one of the problems we have in the APC is that we don't want to have frank discussions. Once you have a frank discussion, or you make your mind frank to any issue, people begin to misinterpret it as you hate Tony Cole, you hate Mr. A, you hate Mr. C. And by doing so, they insulate the man from having a of the inner hearts of people, for which he can easily probably resolve and move forward and avoid some of those things.
Well, Dr.
Dawari, I'm coming, sir.
You just have 60 seconds,
George,
please.
Please. Dr. Dawari George moved out of this place. Even the Dakuku you speak of is not happy.
Well, you may not know that for sure, except that Dakuku has confided.
I am close to all these persons. Shegu, I'm not claiming. I'm close. I'm very intimately close to all these persons I mentioned. And that, as we speak, there is serious pressure on him. That the Opopo, which is considered to be a minority LGA, has gotten 2 opportunities to become governor of Rivers State. If you are not a man, what will you begin to think of? And you ask yourself, in all of this, what is the candidate doing to endear himself to the people? In 2019, yes, he could be considered a political stranger. He had 4 years. How did they hear? But now I just told you that politics goes beyond being a candidate or goes beyond contribution. You must be insulted. You must know in fact, in local parlance, they say you must pay school fees.
Christian Otiasa, I'm sorry, we just have to allow you to go. I apologize.
Conclusively, we must allow people to ventilate their minds so that it could be discussed and resolved, and not to give the impression to people, as my brother
all is well.
are just done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, open up on Kotaya, because you see, we have a destination here, and unfortunately, we just have very limited time. We have another guest coming up by 9 o'clock. So, in all of this, would you really say, would you really say we have everything set for us? And again, I just pointed out something to you again, because you've said, yes, Nyesom Wike cannot be pushed over. But again, for him and Atiku again, that's another issue there.
Well, politics is all about the concentric circle of conspiracies and articulated interest. I think, and I have that conviction, that there is a general perception, concerning Nyesom Wike. They believe he has this predisposition to authoritarianism and a predilection for combat, even when gratuitous.
But is that a fact?
Even when gratuitous. That is also my perception. Yes. So,
so why is Atiku looking for him? Why is Atiku looking for him?
Because you just can't wish him away. That is the truth about it. You need him. But that does not mean in any way that without the weekend, Atiku can't win the forthcoming general elections. No, now.
So again, somebody just said again that perhaps it is also for the good of Rivers State
now,
and for the good of the governorship candidates of Rivers State.
I don't know how is it going to be for the good. I don't know. But you see, conflict is a function of interaction, and because man cannot not communicate, man is prone to it. Resolution is what matters. I mean, it is better to judge than war. We all agree, isn't it? So if somebody is aggrieved for one reason or the other, and I don't see any justification for the grievance anyway, because it is within the virus and the parent. You said no time. You said no time.
How do you mean by you don't see any justification?
Let me explain now. Just talking because you told me just 9 o'clock now. Somebody told me to the Shogu, let me finish now. I did not just say that and stopped. I'm still talking. I don't see it because even in this choice of deputy governor, did he agree with the subsequent person that you had mentioned, including not limited to, but including the former secretary to the state government, who was supposed to be his deputy governor? He said no. For some reasons. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. But eventually the same man, he was instrumental to the man becoming a minister. He later appointed him as SSG. So that's what politics is all about. For some reasons, Atiku is comfortable with Okowa. And he made his choice. And everybody must respect that choice. Because if that government fails, it is Atiku that will take the blame. If the government succeeds, it's Atiku that will take the credit. He has seen certain unique selling qualities in Okowa, which many other persons might not see. The issue of, the contribution to the party, of course, that you cannot controvert that immensely. And it has become obvious that he did that for his presidential ambition. No doubt about that. I mean, it's politics. But you must also respect the opinion. Just like in Rivers State, who calls the shots in the PDP? Is it not the same person? So you respect the opinion of the man. 1 minute, Shogu, now. He's angry because he's a human being and is prone to human frailty.
And is it justified anger? Is it a justified anger in your view?
A justified anger? Well, it depends on how you look at it. Because to him, he is considering his contributions to the party. And he believes strongly that the party ought to have rewarded him with that.
So he
lost out the presidential election, not the vice presidential one. So the thinking is, are you people telling me I don't have any value? And the issue of ego being bruised.
Because you see, you're also talking about this value. Now. And let's not look at this value in relation to Rivers State in 2023.
Now we are not talking of number of persons. Don't forget.
Yeah.
We are not talking of the generality. We are not talking of Nigerians as a whole. We are talking of a decision of one man. This man believes, which means if Wike and Okowa are contesting, Atiku has said the person I'll cast my vote for is Okowa. It's as simple as that. Shegun, you can cast for Wike. It's as simple as that. Maybe if another person had emerged as the flag bearer, the presidential standard bearer, he would have chosen a Wike. So it's an individual thing. That's what I'm saying. So we respect the opinion of the individual because the man knows who will go to this battle with him to win.
Opunabo Nkotana,
he might be right, he might be wrong, but that is his own choice. It's his prerogative.
Just
that's
in
the point
30
I am
seconds,
making.
do you think all of these has in any way affected the psyche of the party going into the 2023 election in Rivers State?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the choice of a vice presidential candidate,
not necessarily the choice of the first president,
has any that's the whole imbroglio.
Yes.
And I don't. The saga has any. No. I mean, it will not affect the fortunes of the party in the state. Not at all. Not at all. If the party in the state has any problem, it is self-inflicted.
Let me ask you this.
It has nothing to do
point
with.
Blankly.
It has nothing to do with what happens at the national.
I know you're not a member of any political party and you've not openly confessed membership of any. But given APC, PDP, where would you cast your vote in 2023?
Shego Olabi, ask me this question next weekend.
Okay.
Ask me this question next weekend. I can tell you the candidates, when it comes to technical know-how, when it comes to competence, you can't question their competence. But I am extremely close to the PDP candidate. I can tell you that. I won't lie that. Because we work together in government and we've maintained that relationship. So I am quite close to him.
Opunabo Nkotana is a civil rights activist, and it's always difficult to win an argument to Opunabo Nkotana. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you so much. We quite appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Stay with us. You're listening to Point Blank.
But if Amechi is going for presidency tomorrow, I'll still support him.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't believe in the parties. I